Integral yoga was developed by the Indian seer Sri Aurobindo and his French collaborator known as the Mother. In the 1920s, a growing group of spiritual seekers formed around Sri Aurobindo in Pondicherry. The Mother organized the group more formally into the Sri Aurobindo Ashram. This ashram was in practice a living laboratory for accelerating human evolution in order to transform all life into a divine living. Sri Aurobindo declared that all life is yoga and all activities can be made a means for spiritual evolution. In his integral vision, Sri Aurobindo synthesized the spiritual wisdom traditions of the past with the modern scientific concept of evolution on Earth. It is in his synthesis that we find the earliest, most comprehensive vision and practice of an evolutionary yoga psychology and cosmology. Many spiritual traditions focus exclusively on the liberation of consciousness into a timeless existence beyond birth and death. They aim to escape from the cycle of rebirth and therefore ignore the evolutionary potential of life on Earth. But Sri Aurobindo's integral yoga aims at not only the liberation of consciousness, but demands an evolutionary transformation of human life towards its divinization here on Earth. Modern science has shown that life on Earth has evolved over millions of years, and the tree of evolution is still unfolding. But science explains evolution through a genetic process of probability and chance. Sri Aurobindo explains that consciousness is the fundamental reality of all existence, and it is already involved in matter. Evolution is the method by which this secret consciousness liberates itself and creates increasingly complex life forms to express itself. The human mind is the peak of nature's evolution. But the evolution of mind is still incomplete. Beyond mind are higher ranges of consciousness. The range of consciousness, which Sri Aurobindo calls the supermind, is the next evolutionary step beyond mind. A new species of humanity, endowed with supermind, is emerging from the present human race. The long process of evolution on earth can be understood as the unconscious yoga of nature, a development without self-conscious will in plant and animal life. But human beings are self-aware. And now, the evolutionary process can become conscious. This gives us the possibility of a consciously accelerated evolution. There are hidden splendors within us waiting. Integral yoga is a process of accelerating their flowering. Pure consciousness is one indivisible whole. But it has two poles of existence. Between these two poles moves the vast spectrum of consciousness, giving birth to the cosmos across many dimensions and scales of time and space. Our mind can access only a narrow range of consciousness that lies in between the two poles. The superconscient pole above is what ancient seers called Satchidananda, the existence, consciousness, and bliss of the One Being. The inconscient pole below is inert matter, where consciousness is entirely asleep. Science is plumbing the material end of reality using objective and analytical methods, trying to understand the fundamental forces of nature. But yoga explores the higher realms of consciousness and discovers the source of creation using subjective and psychological methods. Each pole of existence secretly contains its opposite, hidden and unmanifest. At the superconscient pole, the material universe exists as an eternal and infinite potentiality. At the inconscient pole, pure consciousness is absorbed in the utter sleep of matter. Evolution is a game played between the two poles. Matter flows into consciousness, and consciousness flows into matter. Between these two poles, consciousness continuously ascends and descends. The descent and ascent are mediated by the creative power that manifests the universe, which Sri Aurobindo calls the supermind. The first and primary poise of supermind is a self-extension of Satchidananda, in which there is a divine ideation and formation in the infinite. There is no difference between consciousness and force or matter. All is developed in unity and as one. There is not yet any individualization. In the second poise of the supermind, the divine consciousness begins the individualization, seeming to distribute itself in its forms. The same everywhere in soul essence, but varying in soul form. In the third poise, the supermind projects itself into the movement of time and space and involves in it. It enjoys a fundamental, blissful dualism in unity. Along with the truth of stable unity, it supports the truth of differentiation and enjoys its divine play in manifold existence in time and space. This third poise of supermind is what is involved in the inconscient pole as psychic principle. There it supports and drives the evolution of consciousness through all forms rising from below. This is the Agni of the ancient Vedic seers, the knower of all births. This involved divinity, emerging in us through many births, is the pure psyche, the divine soul of love and delight. As it evolves and gets individualized, it becomes the psychic being. When the psychic being develops and comes forward, it takes charge of our evolutionary flowering and leads the way to transformation. This is the first step and foundation of the integral yoga. The evolutionary process is already happening secretly behind our surface consciousness, and we are unaware of the journey. Our psyche, in its early stages of development, exists only as a divine spark, covered by the layers of surface consciousness. These frontal surface movements are all that we are normally aware of. Together, they constitute our false self, our ego, made up of ideas, thoughts, imaginations, memories, emotions, passions, drives, desires, sensations, and habits. It can be a fully individualized ego, or an ego that identifies more with a group consciousness. An underdeveloped ego is one that thinks and feels along with its group, and is yet to crystallize as an individualized mental being. The development of a personal vision and ideas that can successfully differentiate a person from the group consciousness and follow the individual will is the beginning of the individual mental being and its individual ego. Current approaches to personality development mostly center around developing this outer individuality. Integral yoga recognizes the emergence and development of the individualized mental being as a necessary step in evolution before spiritual and supramental transformation is possible. The human body is a product of the evolution of consciousness in matter and carries within it the whole evolutionary past. First, the emergence of matter. Second, the emergence of life in matter. Third, the emergence of mind in living matter. Our body is made of the elements of matter. Within this material frame, life energy has established its workings. And within this living frame, the mind has established its workings. These three layers can be compared to the hardware, the electrical energy, and the intelligent software. These are the three layers of our instrumental nature: body, life, and mind. They are woven into each other and have mixed workings in the whole system. In subjective experience, the operations of the mind are experienced in the region of our head. The movements of life energy are generally felt in the torso, as emotions, passions, drives, and desires. Life energy gives us our vitality, and it is called the vital in integral yoga. Going down the body, characteristic movements are more dense and habitual. The consciousness of the physical is relatively dull and inert. The stages of our evolutionary past can be seen as stacked vertically in the body, each layer expressing a different type of consciousness. What is below is subconscient, going all the way down to the inconscient pole. Consciousness is on an ascending course of evolution, emerging from the inconscient pole. What is above is superconscient, going all the way to Satchidananda. What is behind is subliminal, carrying deep within it the psychic being, our psychological center, secretly guiding evolution. Our normal wakeful state knows only the surface layers. Much more happens behind the veil. These are the broad regions of consciousness explored and mapped by Sri Aurobindo and the Mother.
Aquí hay una representación visual de los hemisferios de la manifestación divina, según los escritos de Sri Aurobindo y la Madre, creado por Madre www.transformación.ca. Alegrémonos, porque la locura absurda que estamos viviendo está obligando a más y más gente a despertar. Sin embargo, debemos tener compasión por aquellos que son incapaces de despertar, porque las infecciones han creado una separación del alma individual. La única salida de la matriz es el incumplimiento absoluto. Las CBDC, monedas digitales del Banco Central, harán que sea imposible funcionar en el sistema. No me interesa la supervivencia que conduce a la muerte inevitable. Elijo vivir a toda costa. Estoy absolutamente segura de que los valientes deben optar por salir de la matriz por completo para noviembre de 2023. Por favor, vea los muchos vídeos que creé sobre las espirales de onda de tiempo. Fui bendecida porque mi experiencia en la cárcel me obligó a dejar Canadá y lo que parecía ser una vida perfecta como dentista muy exitosa y madre de 2 hijos maravillosos. Se necesita mucho coraje para saltar a lo completamente desconocido, pero es una necesidad absoluta en esta crisis evolutiva. Hoy Estoy en condiciones de ayudar a las personas que eligieron la vida. A solo 2 kilómetros de nuestra finca, descubrí un pequeño desarrollo. Se puede comprar un lote de 1000 metros cuadrados con una casa de 3 recámaras por $60,000 estadounidenses, el tipo de cambio de hoy. Mientras tu casa está en construcción, puedes empezar a desarrollar la agricultura de la nuez, sacha inchi, aguacate, piña, yuca, papaya, plátano, cítricos y una huerta. Uno puede criar pollos y otros animales pequeños. Una estadía prolongada en Cascada Retiro es de $300 estadounidenses por mes. También ofrezco odontología, incluida la reconstrucción completa de la boca, a un costo del 35% de los precios europeos y norteamericanos. El planeta prisión global está siendo desmantelado y tenemos el honor de ser testigos de ello. Concluyo animándolos a continuar con su evolución interior a pesar del escenario mundial actual, que puede parecer preocupante cuando olvidamos que lo divino está detrás de todo y que el mundo supramental está a nuestras puertas. Por favor, comparte mis vídeos. Amor infinito.